I'm going to ask Christmas some questions today about
Mm,
the hurts. And the reason I wanted to do this episode with her today is because I've noticed that a lot of us hustle hurt. How many of you relate to that? You can drop a yes in the comments. If you're watching the replay, feel free to chime in as well. And if some way, somehow, this episode, the algorithm has sent this to you, it's probably because you might have been asking for a sign or a message that, hey, I think I've been working really hard and life hasn't been easy. And I don't know why that despite all the consistent effort that I put in, I seem to be hitting a ceiling. And a lot of times, what we learn from Christmas is that if there are some wounds inside that have not been addressed, like for example, I know someone who has been working really hard to make their sales career work, but they have a lot of like family problems that stem way back. And so when they try to sell, they know the technique, they have been coached on what to say, but the energy is completely wrong. And so they keep running into blockages at work. When they talk to people, the communication is shut down and
mm.
they just can't perform, even though they know the tools. So I thought of inviting Chris Matt here today to share with us beyond technique. Is there a case to say that you're not getting the results you want, not because you're not good enough, not because you're not smart enough, but you're kind of still carrying wounds from way back? Is there such a scenario, Prismat?
Wounds from way back. Actually, we do, but it's just subconsciously we don't know that the wounds are there. But sometimes, when we are doing our work, just by some conversation with our colleagues or even with our customers, it just rip open the wound again. And when that happens, you'll give out a very painful or very annoying energy that actually give your customer the feel that, am I hurting you? Am I hurting that person? Or am I annoying him because of my speech, this and that? And that will actually make uh, your customers or your colleagues have the what do you call that? Have the would not like to go together with the conversation anymore. So that will actually hurt the relationship and even hurt the sales.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about because I know some people they have all the tools, but so you're saying that they actually don't know that the wound is
Mm.
there.
Yes, yes, because a lot of people thought that when you hammer a nail into the wall, you remove the nail is being removed. So everybody thought that the hurts has been healed. But the hole in the wall is still there. You did not plaster it up. You did not do anything to it. And that is the wound. It is not the action of hammering the nail into the door, into the wall, that is the hurt. That is the pain, but not the hurt, right? The wound is left there even if you remove the nail, if you did not cover it up. So the wound is not healed. The wound is still there.
The wound is still there because
Yes.
these wounds can stem from way back, I think, from our upbringing or events that have happened along the way, even recent events. And if we are not aware of the wound, but as we go through our work, we find that conflicts keep happening. Maybe
Mm,
uh, we say the right things, we thought it's right, and so we do it or we say it. And let's say a client or a prospect, they completely like reject the energy, or they get into an argument with us, or they lash out. And I've seen this happen many times. And when I observe what's happening, it's not so much the words are wrong, but I actually cannot pinpoint what happened for this kind of conflicts or explosions to happen. But over time, I do see a pattern, which is there's something in both parties that is causing this energy to clash, right?
um, I would not say it's a clash of energy, but it is maybe a rub off of energy from each other. But however, that rub off contains salt, and it will actually hurt your wound. So your wound is not totally healed, and yet you still put salt onto the wound. So that will actually eventually explode the conversation. So actually, it's the all these things is usually the intention. If you put out the intention of I am selling it to you versus the intention of I am doing for your sake, that's why I am recommending this to you. Actually, the customers or the colleagues that you talk to is can feel this intention.
Hmm.
Mm. So if you give them the choice, like I am recommending it to you, it's softer, so it is not as explosive as I am selling it to you. You get what I mean?
Yeah, in fact, a lot of these professionals that I've seen, when they're at work, I can see that money, performance is not really a concern for them because they have succeeded before, they're doing pretty well. And so they're not really concerned actually if they get the sale. I can see a lot of times they're not really even interested in the results. They are quite
Mm,
stable and secure. And so sometimes they carry their frustrations or their hurts from what's happening in their life right now, or things that have happened in the past, or a combination of both. And they bring that whole thing to work. And it's almost like work. I don't know, is it work is a way for them to get all these things out, to vent, to get back at the energy, or is it a completely unconscious thing? Like if I used to grow up in a place where maybe I wasn't loved or my voice wasn't heard, and so I carry that paradigm to work, and it's like I talk to my boss. My boss actually didn't say anything, but it's like, oh, my boss is not hearing me. I talk to the client. The client actually didn't do anything, but it's like, oh, my client is not loving me. And so it's just me projecting all these things, right?
yes, because our all most of our action uh or what we perceive is usually from the history of how we are being brought up or the history of an event that happens. And all this history actually carries energy or energies, right? For example, if you are always being scolded while you try to voice it out. For example,
Mm,
your parents will just tell you, hey, you shut up, like you don't need to you are not talking sense or what.
mm.
You know, when we grow up in this environment, we will tend to have this experience with us. When we have this experience with us, this energy we carry. will also be with us, right? And with this energy, our first impression is when we voice out our thoughts or our views, I might be being shut down because this energy you carry since that incident
Mm,
or you felt since that incident.
mm.
So you do not know how to put in or replace the energy.
Yes.
If you don't know how to replace this energy, when you talk about anything that you want to voice out your views, this energy comes. So it either give you a frustration or give you uh, some feeling of annoyed
Yeah.
that yeah, anyway my views will not be taken care of or
Mm,
my views will not be heard. So when you have this energy, even if your views are good,
mm.
with the energy coming forth before your words, people who are on the opposite side, the recipients, will start to feel this. How come his word is okay, but why is this annoying energy?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, it's because firstly, you have not forgive the person who have did this to you. Even though the person has maybe left this world or anything, you just have to forgive first.
Mm,
Okay. A lot of people keep saying forgive and forgive and forget, right? But do
yeah.
you think that we can forget the what do you call that? We can forget the event or not? I don't think so. We can forget the event, right? Because it have happened. It's in the
Yeah.
history. It's already in our memory that it is there. But what
Yes.
must we forget then? Since we cannot forget the event, so what must we forget? We actually must forget the energy or the feelings that we felt at that moment. Like if you felt hurt at that moment, you felt that uh, you're being annoyed at that moment, you're irritated at that moment. If you are able to forgive first, forgive that person who do this to you, okay, then you actually also have to love that person back.
Wow.
Yes, then you will forget the energy that happens then. When you forget the energy, when you talk about that event again, it might not be, it will not carry the same energy. It will be another energy. Sometimes might
Mm,
be a love energy because you have already forgiven. So even people, sometimes I believe you hear some conversation is like, hey, how come that person did so much wrong things on you or to
mm.
you? And yet when you talk about that event, you are full of love. Have you heard of people saying this?
Yeah. Is that a gift or that person just has like they are?
Have forgiven. That person have forgotten about the energies at that moment and replaced with a love energy. Forgiveness always come with love. You can't forgive a person without love.
Wow.
So love energy is one of the greatest energy, I would say. It's more a very beautiful energy, right? So when you carry a love energy while you are talking about that event, it will actually touch another person, and the conversation will go in a better way rather than um, the past energy of annoyance, the past energy of irritation, right?
So do you think when this energy is at its peak, let's say either because the event has just happened or uh, the energy is still strong, do you think there is a timing for what you talk about this forgetting the energy, forgetting the feelings, for to forgive with love? Do you think there's a timing for this to happen, or is it a choice?
It's a choice. There's no timing for it to happen. It is your choice, your decision whether you want to forgive and forget that energy. But one funny thing is that the moment you decided to forgive and forget that person, right? There's a lot of irritation will come, a lot of hurts will come that reminds you that, hey, hello, you see, it's about the same thing. Then how are you able to forgive and forget? But you just have to tell yourself that, no, I forgive that person because I love that person. It's your own choice. And there's no time to it. You can hold that energy till your last breath, or you just forgive and forget the very second it happens. So it's up to you. It's
Yeah,
your own decision.
like how some people can get very agitated when these emotions are very active within them. And
Mm,
so they could be talking to their kids, or they could be talking to a client, or they could be on an interview. And I can see that the energy is just there and it's just
mm.
going on and on. And they are carrying it, they are fostering it, they are actually making it stronger. Because I think these kind of emotions are very strong and they have a momentum. If you're not careful, they will just keep building and building and building. And you might even just lose yourself in it. And I can see that happening. And I'm like, why?
It's just like physical wounds. When all these things are wounds, right?
Hmm.
So it's just like physical wounds. When it is okay already, the redness not that bad. It's trying to come, the flesh is trying to come together and heal it, but it's still sore. It's still sore, right? So the moment you talk about it, it's just like you are just pressing hard on that wound.
Oh God.
A sore wound, you press hard on it, and what will happen? You will feel pain, right? But after you feel pain, it just says, never mind, never mind. I will continue to press harder so that the pain will go away because of
Oh
the
God.
strength of my finger. But it will not, it will become worse, the wound. So if you don't choose to forgive and forget, you keep, whenever something happens that triggers, it's just like someone is um pressing hard on that wound, and at times it might be just pouring salt water or salt rubbing into it.
Hmm.
So if you have choose to forgive and forget, the wound is healed already. No matter how hard you press on it, there's no infection or there's no um any raw wounds or anything to be on it.
So our regular co-host Andrea is not with us today, but I remember she used to say at one point, when she carried all these energies, she actually got to a point where, okay, I recognize it, and
Mm,
I'm quite sick of actually, because at some point you start to get aware, like, why am I pushing people away. Why would I want to sabotage my own communication and hit people with my energy? So some people I can tell they are not conscious. Some people I can tell they are conscious and they choose to go on to foster that energy. And I can see some people like Andrea, for example, she reached a point and she was like, wait, I think I don't want to live with this energy anymore. I'm sick of carrying this energy. I'm sick of hitting people with this energy. Like, I need to stop. But then
Mm.
she didn't know how. So for someone who is at that phase where they're like, I kind of don't want to carry this burden anymore. It's been a long time and it's affecting my work, it's affecting my communication. I'm not happy, but how can I let go of this? You mentioned forget the energy, forget the feeling, but are there any specific steps that I can take to stop this pattern?
I would say if that person is still around, okay, take up the courage and talk to them on that event. That person might have forgotten it, but just tell them that, hey, because of this action, I am actually hurt.
Oh God.
And because of this hurt, I'm actually feeling the energy whenever a bit or the same scenario of the event happens, I will get triggered.
Mm,
Okay, so now I just want to tell you that I am hurt, but I forgive you. It's because I love you. More importantly, I actually love myself. I don't want myself to get hurt anymore. So I want to release this energy. Will you be able to? If that person is okay, then she will say, oh, hmm, she might just say that, I'm sorry that I don't know that I hurt you, but yes, I accept I accept your love and please forgive me. Okay? If that
mm,
person is around. But you will also meet somebody that after you tell them everything, the whole story, they'll just say, you hurt is your problem or not my problem,
yeah.
right? Then you just tell yourself that this person I'm done with. Okay, if they are a relative, you're supposed to be your loved ones, this and that, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, just tell yourself, look yourself into the mirror. The very good thing about mirror is that you can find someone in yourself, like your your inner child, because most people who get hurt is the inner child who get hurt first. Okay, if you can't get that person to acknowledge their mistakes, then no worries. Just look into the mirror and look for your inner child and tell the inner child, it's okay, you are loved, you are being, you can forgive that person. You don't need to carry that hurts anymore. Okay, this is when that person, after hurting you, don't acknowledge her mistake or his mistake and hurt you again. Don't
Mm,
let them hurt you again. Go back, look into the mirror, look for your inner child, start to pamper the inner child, tell them that they are loved, right? When you love this, you do this, you are showing self-love. When you are showing self-love to yourself, wounds actually will heal much faster because of you activating self-love. You'll be you can easily forgive whoever that have done injustice to you and forget that energy. Okay? If that person is no longer here on earth, for example, it might be your great grandmother, right, who hurt you in the very beginning. She is no
mm,
longer here. If she is no longer here, then what you can do is that if you know where she is buried, okay, you know where is her ash, her urn, you can go there and just talk to her and just tell her that um, no matter where are you, I just want to let you know that I love you and I forgive you. Okay? If you are not able to do that, if you are not able to do that, same way you look into the mirror, look for your inner child and says that, hey, I know that this event happened. Just tell them that what is the event. Okay, just say out. There is power in spoken words. You don't just look into the mirror and just talk inside your heart and thought that everything is fine. No, it is not fine. You have to speak it out. Okay, when you speak it out, you replace the energy. If you don't, the initial energy will still be there. You have to speak it out. So you look into the mirror and tell your inner child that, hey, I acknowledge that this has happened and I know that you are hurt. Um, blah blah blah. Then just tell the inner child that you can forgive them now because I love you. Use
Wow.
your own self-love to replace, because usually all these hurts happens is when you actually wants to be recognized, you want to be loved by others,
Mm.
right? So when this happen, there's no self-recognition, there's no self-love. So you have to actually use yourself. Tell your inner child that don't worry, I recognize you. I know that you are here and I know that you are hurt and I love you. So you
Wow.
can forgive. So all these are a bit of self recognition, self love, all those, and self understanding. Only people who have developed or on the road of self discovery, then they will actually have the recognition of that energy, that how come this energy always follow me, this hurtful energy always follow
Yeah.
me.
So it's an awareness, right?
Oh, it's one thing is awareness, but then everyone can have awareness of the surrounding, awareness of anything, but you must have self-awareness. You
Mm.
must be on the road of self-discovery, because
Mm.
all these things are all inward, inside you. It is not outside. It is not physical wound that you can see.
Yeah.
Mm. You have to remove the veil of self-protecting. A lot of people think that because I am hurt before, so I put a veil, I don't see the wound, I am not hurt. You get what I mean? So when you do that, you do not know how many wounds are on you. So when the more wound it is, the more spikes you actually gave out, the spikier your words will be.
Wow.
So in order for the wound to be fully, totally, 100% healed, you actually have to go inward and see where are the wounds. And each wounds have a story. It's just like all the warriors, they will just tell you, hey, this scar is what story, that scar is what story. The wounds actually are alive. If you go inward to look at each wounds, individual wounds, that individual wounds will tell you why I am here. How come I am here? What must you do to let me heal? Mm.
Which means that if someone is not ready to be on the path of self-discovery, if someone is not ready to be on the path of I want to have the self-awareness, then actually they will spend, what I've seen is they spend years repeating the same problem. When I see it happen over the years, I'm like, are you not tired? Like it's the same thing Yeah, you know. So
But
what do you think?
they are not aware of that.
Yeah, so my question is, what do you think? Do you think the triggering of this, okay, wait, I gotta have the self-awareness. Do you think this line is again, is it a choice or do you need to really be like slapped really hard in the face by the universe to say, okay, I gotta wake up now. It's me. I'm carrying the energy.
Two choices. Two choices. One is like what you say is you got to be slapped very hard by the universe. Okay. The second choice is quieten down your heart. Listen to what others says. Okay. Because when you listen to what others says, I would say we are all human. What human tends to do is that we don't see a lot in our own eye. We don't see a lot in our own eyes, but we see speck of dust in other people's eyes, right?
Yeah.
If we can see the speck of dust in other people's eyes, can we can we uh, the Chinese word is 审视我们自己 like inspect, yeah, inspect ourselves whether do we have that dust in ourselves or not. Because anything that you are not comfortable in hearing or seeing, then that thing might be in you. Because you also have that. That's why it shakes something in you that makes you very uncomfortable. If something happens and or something you hear don't trigger you at all, which means you don't have that thing in you. Because we only attracts what we have,
Yeah.
right? Mm.
Correct.
Yes. So this is you choose to be quieted, you choose to quieten down to do
Mm.
all to look for that dust in yourself or the lock in yourself and want to remove it. Okay, another way is you are being slapped hard
Mm.
and strong by the universe to want you to remove it.
Yeah. And
Mm,
on the other extreme, sometimes I see you coach your clients and you tell them that, okay, you can do mirror work, you can connect with your soul, and you can communicate with your soul, and you can fill yourself up with love, self-love. And I do have
mm,
a lot of I see a lot of situations where they really try. So they have already woken up. They're on the path of self discovery, self awareness, and they're
mm.
willing to start that healing process. But as they go into the mirror and they look into themselves, they realize like, hey, what is love? Because I might never have experienced it before, or be so sparse that I really don't know what to fill up.
Okay. The very first thing is we don't look for love first in our very first mirror work because we don't know how to recognize it. If we
Yeah.
don't know what it is, we cannot recognize. But there is one thing that everyone will know that that is love, is praises, right?
Mm.
You will felt happy, felt love when someone praise you.
Yes.
But the funny thing is that I am not sure whether is it a Asian practice or is it just human that we get shy when people praise us. Then what we will
Mm.
do is just says, "Aya,
No
no
lah,
lah,
no.
it's not lah, yeah." But why not you just joyfully accept that praise? Just say
Yeah.
thank you, I accept it. Okay, if you can't, what can you do on mirror work? Just say something like I have a client who can't face herself in the mirror because she thinks that she is very ugly. Okay. It is not so. She is actually quite beautiful. I think she's quite beautiful.
Mm.
Okay. But it's just that she don't have the courage to face herself into the mirror. Because I believe that there's a lot of wounds inside her. She saw that all those wounds and she don't want to see it.
Oh God.
Wounds are very ugly, especially when it's
Yeah.
raw and bleeding. So a lot of people don't want to face it. So what you can do is that you just look into the mirror, okay? If she is someone who don't look into the mirror at all for years. So I just tell her, very simple, you just look into the mirror for like 1 minute, 30 seconds, 1 minute. I don't think so it's a very long time. But for people who have hurts, who have wounds, 5 seconds is long enough for them to look into the mirror. Okay. Just 30 seconds a day to look into the mirror. Once you will get used to it once you get used to it, you just say something beautiful about yourself. You can separate yourself in a way that, like, I'm Christmas, I can look into the mirror and just say that, Christmas, you are so beautiful. Every morning, don't, if you're just starting to do mirror works, please don't do mirror works at night.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, it's because there's a lot of shadow self. Like sometimes um a lot of people of us will have the victimized self, the shadow self. Okay. If you do it at night, you are not that alert. And especially at night, we get tired also, physically we get tired. So we can't really concentrate. When we can't concentrate, we might be looking at a shadow self, which is not good. You don't you don't energize a shadow self. Okay. You energize your own soul, your own inner child. Mm. So in the morning, my that client, I told her that not the first thing in the morning, is after you wash up everything, you are clean. You know that you are clean physically, you look into the mirror. Then you say something nice about that image in the mirror.
Mm.
Then as time goes, this energy that you spoke out to the mirror will reflect back to you. So
Wow.
this is a 2 times energy back to you. If every morning you do that, right, you felt that, how come I got, after a while, like not long, about a month or so, you will feel the difference one. Like you will feel that how come now I have the confidence to do a lot of things. Like in the morning, I I can start my day with happiness, end my day with happiness. There's this um this happy energy going around. Yes. Then that is also a start to you find on your self discovery journey, and that is the start of self love. Getting praise and being praised actually is the start of self love. So
Wow.
you don't start by looking into the mirror and look for love. No, you can't. You got to build up that love.
Mm.
Okay. Mm. There's nothing, self love is something that is not love at first sight. It's a love that needs to be nurtured. There's no love at first sight on self love.
Mm. Got it. So we have a question from Andrea who's watching our live, and she
Mm.
says, today, a manager shared about a team member. She's not sure how to guide her team member to better manage communication with their customers. There are instances where the team member could not meet the promise timeline promise, but was not able to inform the client, instead requesting the manager to speak with the client that they're already doing the client a favor by responding to their request. Another incident where the team member forgot about client requirements and was late on timeline. Instead of being upfront, she did not address what went wrong and caused neglect, and only mentioned that the problem is fixed. Despite client asking about what led to the incident, there was no response from the team member until the manager requested her to respond to the client. Is there a reason why the team member is being avoidant? Yeah, I do see it's an avoidance issue about not being able to manage the client well. How can the manager support her? So it seems like a case of this person needs to voice out, needs to have some hard conversations, but this person is avoiding it. So is it a case of I don't want to be proactive, or I don't know how to express myself? Because there's a big difference. One is an attitude and one is a skill.
Mm. I am not sure what this person or these team members is facing, okay? But um there's a chance that it might not be due to her action, or rather she do not know what to do.
Mm.
There's a chance that she is totally out of her mind,
Oh God.
like her soul is not there while she work. She always being absent-minded, I would say.
Oh,
Mm.
yes, I've seen that one before.
And if she is always being absent-minded, it's not that she don't know how to deal with it, the situation. It's that the absent-minded is like a disease. It actually impact her from um from providing the correct action.
Understand.
Mm. Yes, so I think that might be her case. Yeah, she might have there is wounds in her that she don't dare to see. That's why all these avoidance or procrastinations actually were is her own self-defense mode lah. Mm. So that is her how she self-defends herself.
Wow. Yeah, it's a trend that I've been seeing all the time because I coach people on marketing, I coach people on sales, and sometimes I can see that they have all the techniques, but why do gaps like these in the expression happens? And sometimes it happens so many times, and I can clearly see that it's not a technique issue, but it's not that they don't want to do it. So then why are there these repeated gaps? And I figured out over time, I do see that some of them are secretly dealing with a lot of all these energies. And I thought I would get you on today's session to address
Mm.
what is this disconnect, why it exists, and if the algorithm hits you, if the universe sends you this video, there's a chance that you asked for a solution and you asked for a change. And so today's episode addresses this. You can practice what Chris Matt shared about going to a
Yeah.
mirror in the day, look into your own eyes and talk to yourself, encourage yourself, praise yourself, and start to build this relationship of love with yourself. Not so much about pampering or buying yourself food and clothes, but more of if if you were your best friend, or if you were your child, or if you were your sibling, how would you show this person, which is yourself, how would you show yourself that energy and experience of love? And so once you
Yes.
build this sanctuary, or you build this connection, or you build this space where you feel safe, you feel nurtured by yourself, but you're happy to spend time with yourself, you're happy to do things with yourself, and you feel good being on your own, that's when you know that, okay, I don't need so and so to say things to make me happy. I don't need so and so to agree with me to make me happy. And so now you become a man or woman of peace, and people see that, and then now they mirror back to you, and now communication gets easier. Conflicts may still happen, but now it's easier to resolve them. And overall, you will see, I believe you'll see progressive, huge improvements in your life, in your career, and in your relationship. And if you do have a question for Chris Matt, you can reach out to her at her Facebook page. That's the one you're watching this on live right now, Chris Matt Part, or YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. She is available at Chris Matt Part as well. So just reach out, send us a message, tell us your question, what you're going through, and we'll do our best to help. So I think that's all we have for today's episode. If Andrea is
Just
watching live, yes.
yeah, just a word of warning is that don't look into the mirror and start scolding yourself or giving out negative energies, because positive energies, the mirror reflects is 2 times, but negative energy mirror reflects 4 times. So be careful on that. And
Hmm.
mirror doesn't mean just the normal mirror. Okay, it's anything that can reflect you live. For example, your phone camera, that also applies as a mirror.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. And one last thing. So if you are based in Singapore and you're following our work, we do have a live weekly in-person meditation sessions every Saturday at 4 p.m. So if you want to join us to experience what Chris Matt's light meditation is, and how to use the power of the light from the universe to heal, to recharge, to cleanse yourself, and so that you can let go of whatever energies that you want to let go and build yourself, build what Chris Mack calls your astral body, your energetic body. Because when your astral body
Yes.
and energetic body is strong and filled with light and love, a lot of these problems will find a way to solve themselves. So feel free to reach out and ask us about that as well. So that's it from me for this week. Chris Mack, anything else?
No.
Okay,
Just
so we'll
enjoy.
see you next week. We might try to do this on TikTok. So we'll keep you posted. Look at our posts, and we will see you same place, same time next week. Bye bye.
Bye.